Hey guys, Aquatic Atheist here. I want to do an unboxing, setup, and review of the Aquatop CF500 UV, plus some of the media that I got for it. So I'm just going to jump right into this. I'm going to start with opening the box that's supposed to have the media. Bubble crap. Seat. That's about right. Doesn't look like it's supposed to, but okay. We'll start with this. This is CF500 Matrix. They changed their packaging since the last time I bought Matrix. It's 1 liter. It's supposed to treat 1,000 gallons. And I ordered this. And after I ordered it, I found out something interesting about it. This stuff right here, you look at it real close, all it is, the only thing it is pumice. CF500 will lie to you and say that it's not pumice. They say it's just 100% natural made stone. But if you look at it, how light it is, and how porous it is, and some of it floats, it's pumice. And in fact, there's an aquarium website out of New Zealand that they actually went through the trouble to find out definitively whether or not it's pumice, and it is pumice. It's acid washed pumice. So like you would acid wash concrete, your driveway, whatever. That's what they do to this to treat it to go in the aquarium. You don't have to acid wash pumice to use it as filter media. It's a lot like using lava rock. It's actually a type of lava rock. It's volcanic glass that's really airy, and that's why it floats, is because there's a lot of air in it, and eventually it'll sink. But you can soak it like you do their product Purigen. If you look up Purigen and the recharging directions, it's you soak it in 1 part bleach and 1 part water. And then that's overnight. And then you rinse it off really, really good, and then you soak it in a water and dechlorinator mixture. Prime works really well, which is a CF500 product, and that'll get rid of any of the chlorine that's in it, and then you rinse it again really, really good after soaking it overnight in the dechlorinator, and it should be aquarium safe after that. And it's a lot cheaper than buying this stuff. This bottle right here was, I'll tell you exactly how much it was. It's $12.19 for a liter, and that's only 400 grams. All right, and a pound is 500 grams, about. And you can get 50 pounds of this stuff for 80 bucks, and it breaks down to be like 82 cents a liter, whereas this is $12.95 a liter. So yeah, save yourself some money, buy some pumice, soak it in bleach and water, then soak it in a dechlorinator. You have Purigen. And don't believe CF500 when they tell you it's not pumice. They just straight lie to you, which is kind of unfortunate because all their other products are really, really good. The Matrix, awesome. I love it. I used it before, but it is simply just pumice. But it's good stuff. And then this next piece that I got is Purigen. Purigen is a carbon replacement. It's a synthetic proprietary absorbent for chemical filtration. It removes, and they changed the packaging. It comes in a bag now instead of a box, and you use 1 milliliter per gallon. This is 100 milliliters. It's going on a 90-gallon tank, so it's for 100 gallons. And this is for 100 gallons, and it's a liter, which is supposed to treat 100 gallons. Though I really don't care for the way that they rate this stuff, because the gallons isn't what matters when it comes to filtration. Your bio load is what matters. But let's open this up and look at it. Neat. Comes with some directions. Yeah, rinse rail before use, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this is it. It's a super fine powder. I have some in a hob filter in this tank behind me, which I'm going to put into this filter once I get it set up. But it's these little bitty tiny beads. I don't know if you'll be able to get in close enough to actually see. Let me set it down so it's steady. But you can see it's tiny, tiny, tiny little beads. They're super fine. You put this in pantyhose and it can come out. So this is like a 500 micron bag that they make that's plastic welded. And all you got to do is throw it in there like you use it like you would carbon. It removes ammonia, nitrite, and nitrates. Works really well. I love this stuff. Some people, they don't like using chemical filtration. I don't like using carbon. But this stuff's better than carbon, and it never goes bad. You never have to throw it away. You just soak it in 1 part bleach, 1 part water overnight, and then you rinse it, and then you soak it in in some dechlorinator overnight again, and then you throw it back in your filter. You're good. It's cheap. It's only $10 for 100 milliliters, which treats 100 gallons. You could throw this in any size tank. It doesn't matter, under 100 gallons. I had 100 milliliters sitting in a 2-gallon Fluval Spec that was planted. It doesn't remove trace minerals. It's safe for planted tanks. It's good stuff. I highly recommend it. It polishes the water really well, really easy to recharge. It's really great. But that's the media that I bought. Oh, and I bought some pot scrubbers, because what is an aquarium filter without some pot scrubbers? Why not? These are good. They're better than bio balls. They have crazy amount of surface area. They're cheap. It's $1 for 6. You could fill up your canister with this if you wanted to, and it would probably be fine, at least for a while. And it takes a lot of cleaning. It does catch a lot of crap in it, so it does keep cleaning. I'll put this in the next to last basket. But to the main event, though, let's look at the actual filter itself and what all comes with the Aquatop CF500, and that's going to be in this box. Now, the box was damaged when I got it. As you can see here, there's a hole in it. It's been knocked up against something, so hopefully the filter's not broken. I haven't looked yet, so. It's going to be a box within a box. Yeah, it looks like this box got dented, so hopefully. And it's a CF500. The box is a little smaller than I expected compared to other. Oh, and there's a hole here too. It looks like it was this hole's actually. Oh no, there's some like weird plastic coating on the box. But there's a hole in the box here. I hope nothing inside's damaged, because the True Aqua, who sells this, their website sold out, but Amazon still has it in stock. I'll put a link in the description. Here's a important message for Aquatop customers. My last CF canister filter did not have one of these with it. Oh, okay, I see why they put this in there, is because these filters usually come wet, and everyone thinks that they're used. They're not. Every single filter, before it's boxed and shipped out, is set up on a tank and ran to make sure that it works, it doesn't leak, and things like that. They inspect every single filter before it leaves the factory, so it's usually a little wet. So you want to rinse it out really good. And they gave you Q codes to for ordering replacement parts, your filter media, which all they sell is ceramic rings, bio balls, and pads. And then there's a how to install the filter here, which their videos on the website aren't that great. They're, I don't know, not to my satisfaction. Alright, now let me see where that hole is. It's on this side over here. Okay, it doesn't look like it's anywhere that's going to be damaged. Let's get this little box out. Now this, I'm assuming, is all my plumbing and everything. The box is a little beat up, but this is the box I'd worry about being beat up. The plastic and the fixtures and everything is a little brittle. That's kind of the price you pay whenever you buy a lower cost filter. But even for lower cost filters, these are really, really good filters. Alright, you got your hose, which I think each hose is 6 feet. You hear that? That's some weight to a hose. Alright, let's open this stuff and look at it. All right, this is your, yeah, see water already coming out of the pieces. Getting my table wet, that's okay. But this is your stop valve and your connectors that sit on top of the canister for the hoses. You got your output and your input, and they are supposed to swivel, but there's like a, you want to keep them, at least from what I've read and heard, you want to keep them facing away from the stop valve. And now I've heard a few people say that this is also a way to control the flow. Don't do that. That's not smart, not with this filter. This is not to control the flow. If you do that and you slow down the flow, you're going to risk causing a leak because of the pressure. Aquatop customer service will tell you the same thing. This is not to control the flow when the filter is running. This filter does not have an adjustable flow that way. You're going to want to put a ball valve or something in it. You don't want this to be your flow control. Me personally, I wouldn't do that with this filter. I would baffle the outflow before I would put a ball valve on it. And this should be our input. This is what hangs over the tank. Which I won't be using all these pieces. I don't even like this. This piece is, it's to make it adjustable length. So let's see how long it can get. Put it down the lowest little click, which is right here. And then this piece goes here. Yeah, that's too long for my needs. That's the whole thing. It's about that long. Adjusts down to this long. If you look, that is too long for an aquarium with sand in it. With sand in your aquarium, I've seen this on YouTube a lot with people that have aquariums. They take it and they have it sitting as low as it can go right on top of their sand. And guess what happens? You get sand in your filter, it gets in your impeller, it fucks up your filter. Don't do that. Oh yeah, piece is already falling off. That's the little plastic screw clamp that goes on to hold the hosing. What I'm going to do, and this may even still be too long for what I want, I may just do this, which of course that's not going to go. And that's still longer than what I would like. I would like it to cut off about here, which I might take the hacksaw to this and shorten it because of that. And then this piece right here, which I haven't seen Aquatop selling it yet. I'm going to check this other bag. But this is for an optional protein skimmer if you're going to use it on salt water. That's a little piece that snaps on here, goes up to the top and is open and strains and pulls water from the surface of the tank, the surface of the water, into the canister, as well as water from down here to keep any like protein buildup on top of the water to a minimum. I haven't seen a protein skimmer come from Aquatop. Now there is a filter company called Sun, and Sun and Aquatop share a factory. So the same manufacturer that makes Aquatop filters makes Sun filters, and they're nearly identical, except that Aquatop supposedly, the canister itself is made out of better plastics than the Sun. I don't know. I've never seen a Sun in person. I've just talked to people that's had them. And the spray bar, I'm assuming it just doesn't matter what order you put everything in as long as the end cap piece is on the end. And that's kind of smart. This is different than the last one. If you notice, there's a spray hole inside the slip connector, and if you look, whenever it's fully together, it matches up with the hole in there so you can keep them all level. That's new. That wasn't like that before. This is a really long spray bar. Yeah, that's a really long spray bar. That's the spray bar. This piece would go like this, actually. It's a decent size. I don't know if I'm going to use the whole thing or not. The smaller the spray bar you get, the stronger the flow will be out of these holes. I keep South American cichlids mainly, and they can deal with a little bit lower flow than African cichlids. And then the main part of the filter, this is what's really important, is going to be the actual canister itself. Now it's 5-stage filtration. Now this is a lot bigger than the CF500. I had a CF500 for an older tank that I had, and I sold it to a friend. But that's it. Kind of looks like something out of Star Trek to me. I think it's neat. First things first, whenever you open it, the front and the back, so you got your output and your primer pump, which is really hard to push down. Open those first, and then you're going to lift these up, and you're going to pull all the way up, and it actually pushes it open. And be very careful when you pick it up, because you got this piece in here. This is the UV bulb. It's 9 watts of UV, and it's supposed to sterilize the water. It kills any bacteria, algae, all that kind of good crap. It's got a quartz glass thing, and there's a review on someone that says, oh, quartz glass isn't a quartz tube. So I googled it and looked it up, but quartz glass is glass made out of quartz. It is quartz, and they're like $10 a piece on the Aquatop website. That's a lot cheaper than you're going to find them anywhere else. And now for the insides, you got this. It's your little cover to go on top of your media. Oh, another tip that I want to give you people is whenever you open this up, get a non-toxic permanent marker, and wherever this piece is, where the UV light goes, the actual input, put a mark there, just like that. And you can make it come on the outside a little bit too. It's not going to void your warranty or anything. It's not toxic to your fish. But what that's going to do is whenever you go to put the filter back together, you know exactly where to put that downspout without having to like move it or finagle it or anything. You can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4 filter compartments. And you can see in the bucket, I'm going to have to rinse it before I use it. Let's set this off to the side while we look at these. And now the order you put these in there don't really matter. It only matters once you have media in it. And so it comes with one. Oh, and it came with the coarse sponge. The CF500 doesn't come with the coarse sponge. And it's got 1, 2, that's 2 sponge pads. Well, one's a filter floss pad. 3, 4, and 5. So that's, you got 5 filter pads, which all this is quilt batting right here, this stuff. Some plastic, whatever. But yeah, this is just filter pads. They're filter floss, that's all they are. They're not anything special. It's polyester probably. The polyester quilt batting you can get from Walmart and cut it yourself. I just buy the cheaper filter, or the polyfill, and just fill up my bottom basket with polyfill, and that works. Now for the order of the filter media, you want your mechanical filtration on these filters on the bottom, then your biological filtration, and then your chemical filtration. Now I know a lot of people use chemical filtration before their biofiltration, but it makes no sense to me, none at all. Because what this does is it removes ammonia, it removes nitrites and nitrates. Your beneficial bacteria feeds on ammonia and nitrites. It needs those to survive. So if you're removing that from the water before you get to your biomedia, then your biomedia is not going to house as strong of a bacterial colony as it would if you had this after the biological media. You want your biological media to get its food before you remove its food from the water. It just makes sense to me. Don't ever put chemical filtration first. Doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. But a lot of people do it. Now for putting these together, someone said that they snap together, but I've
I think they just slide together. Yeah, they don't snap together. They just slide together. And, you know, put them together first. Get used to it. Make sure you know what order they're going in and what it feels like when they're together. Yeah, they don't snap together. They just slide together. But yeah, each one of these is 2 liters of media. And the way that I put it together, for me, is on the bottom I have my mechanical filtration. I'm actually going to use these sponges because they came with it, so I might as well. You put them in there and make sure that they actually fit where they go and how they're supposed to. Put your coarse pad first because that's going to grab any big inorganics. And the coarse pad is easier to rinse and clean out and reuse than these pads. These pads are, you can reuse them and rinse them, but they're pain because they're such fine media. And then put 1, I can fit 2 in there. I'll probably put 2 of them in there. So now that one's full. 2 maybe, no, 2's fine. And then on top of that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this. No, 2's too many. On top of this, I'm going to put another filter pad. And the only reason I'm putting this filter pad on there is just so none of my biomedia falls through. That's it. And I'm going to take and put the Purigen on there. But first I got to rinse it. I'm not going to film myself rinsing it because you guys should know how to rinse your media. I don't think I need to tell you how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse all this media, put it in the baskets, and then I'll show you the baskets in the order that I put it in, alright? I'll just see you guys in a minute. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I took a filter, or a sponge, out of an already established filter that I had on this tank, and I, for demonstration purposes for this video, I rinsed it off inside my tank, so my tank will be nice and cloudy and really nasty, just to see how well this filter clears it up and how long it takes for the filter to clear it up. I'll probably get some shit for doing that, but whatever. I mean, the shit that's in the water there sits in here and all the water passes over it anyway. It's not like it's really changing the water parameters too much. And it just makes the water more turbid, which South American, Central American cichlids that I keep, they like turbid water, so screw it. They get turbid water for the video. And I'm going to record the filter actually filtering until it's clear. And I'm going to put a time lapse in here for you guys so you can see how long that takes. But I'm going to cut this up and put it in one of the baskets so I don't have to wait for my filter to cycle. It's already an instant cycle. So I took that cut up sponge and I put most of it. I didn't have enough room for all of it. Well, I might have enough room for a little bit more. But I'm taking it and I'm putting it in the next basket after my mechanical filtration. It's because this is already seeded with beneficial bacteria, and it's the beneficial. The water is going to hit this before it hits my uncycled biological media, which is this matrix, which I'm going to put on top right there, just like that. So we got mechanical, biological in these two, and then this one, I'm going to put this Purigen. But I also have another thing of Purigen right here in some pantyhose. It's not stretched out so it doesn't fall through. If you stretch this, it'll fall through. Now this has been running for 8 months now, and if you look, you can see how some of it's brown, but a lot of it's white. It's still not even close to being used up. When it's used up, it turns really, really brown to almost black. So it's still good. So I'm going to throw that in there like that, and that's it. You take your basket cover, put that on top, and then you're going to be good to go. So now that we know how they're going to go in there, let's take and stack them in reverse order. And then take your canister, which you should already have marked to know where the pieces go. And its handle's a little flimsy, so be careful with it. And you just want to lower it in there gently. Make sure it's sitting in there nice. They don't seem to sit as snug as the smaller models. And just lower them in there nice and make sure they fit together. There you go. If they don't fit together, it won't close right. Make sure your media is not overlapping. That's always a good thing. There we go, that's better. that's going to go on top like that. And then you're going to take and be very careful and lower your canister head onto the canister body. Okay. Get those ready. Push it down until these almost close. Snap them into place. And then take your lock clamps and snap those into place. And you're almost ready to put it on your aquarium. With this piece, we got in and out. That's out, so it's going to go this way. It goes on there like that, and you take and close and lock it into place. And that's it. Now I'm going to go put the hoses on here. Now you want to measure your hoses to make sure that you don't have any loops or anything. What you do is once you have it connected here, hold it up against where you want whichever output or input, and give yourself about 5 inches of room to work with, and that'll give you enough slack so if you have to move your filter around a little bit you can. But one tip is these hoses are really rigid, and what I do is I take and I run really hot, that's not 6 foot I don't think, it's really hot water, tap water, through them, and that softens them up really nice. It makes it really easy to slip over your fittings, and makes it easier to cut them. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back. Oh yeah. With these hoses, make sure that whenever you put them on these connectors, some people don't trust these screw caps, which may be true, but what I found whenever I've used them before is you have to push the hose all the way to where the threads are. If you don't do that, you're going to have a bad time. And then make sure you screw these really tight, because again, if you don't, you will not have a good day. And that's how you make sure they're locked into place where they need to be. Just like that, and they give you, oh yeah, that's 6 feet about of hosing, which I'm going to cut it because I don't need that much. Checking if that one's out. Yeah. Try to get as straight and flat of a cut as you can. You don't want it to be angular or not straight, because it won't make a good seal on your connecting pipes. That's the last thing you want, is to not have an adequate seal. Alright, now we got to prime it, which this is usually a pain in the ass when it comes to these filters. supposedly. Some people fill it up first. Aquatop doesn't recommend that you fill it up first, so I didn't. I'm just going to do it. There's this button right here, big, huge blue and gray button. You're going to press, hold it down for 5 seconds, let it go, wait for whatever water comes down to stop, press, hold 5 seconds, let it go, so forth, so on. Go. That siphon starts and you just let it go. Once it starts actually flowing like that, you can just let the siphon go till it fills up. You shouldn't have to press it again. And it's a big container, so it takes a second to fill up. So I'm going to top it off, fill up the tank, and then turn it on. Prime. Another tip for you guys, which is what I'm going to start doing. It's called sodium thiosulfate, I believe. I'll put it in the description below. It's a crystal, it's just a powder. And hydrosulfate, yeah, so it does the same thing as Prime. And what it is you take 500 grams of it, mix it with a gallon of water, tap water, doesn't matter. Mix it up really good, close it, and that treats over 32,000 gallons of water. That stuff is like $3 for 500 grams at kinsfish.com. Check that website out, it's really good. Alright guys. Well, this is one thing I didn't notice when I opened it, but if you check it out, one of the prongs for the power cord is bent. It's not that big of a deal. I can straighten it. I have a pair of pliers. It's not going to hurt performance, but it is something to point out. You can see it's nice and bent right there. But that's okay, I'll fix that before I plug it in, but I'm about to plug it in. And then we're going to see how long it takes for it to clear up this nasty ass tank that I dirtied up really nice for the video. Luckily they like that kind of water. Everything's ready, and it's about to go on. Ready? Now it's got to expel all that air. So after you plug it in, rock it backwards, and then forward, and then left, and then right, and do that a couple of times. And what that's going to do is that's going to get all that air out of the canister that was trapped there. And then there you go. If you get close up to this and listen, you're not going to hear the filter. When you get close, you might have to actually touch the mic to the filter to get the sound. That's how quiet it is. And if you look at the tank, you can see all that debris and everything. It's moving some water already. And it's silent. That's one thing a lot of people really like about these filters is how quiet they are. But alright, let's set up that, let's see how long it takes to clear up the tank.